This video is the easiest for me to pull bottles for because visually all the colors are incredibly similar, and that's because we're talking about aquatic fragrances, and conveniently they seem to mostly be packaged in aquatic colors. So if you are dying of heat like me and want some thirst quenching fresh aquatic scents, I have you covered. And today I'm going to share with you my top 10 to 12, whatever I have back there, of my favorite aquatic scents that I just can't get enough of. If it's your first time here, my name is Yana. This is The Scented. We talk about all kinds of fragrance things, so stick around. We'll do all the fragrance things together, and let's talk aquatics. I have something for every budget today, so I have a few affordable ones, a few niche, so whatever your budget may be, I have something for you. Even if you're shopping around the $30 range, I have a great one. So let's jump in, starting with my newest, most exciting at this moment, and that is because it's my shiny new toy, and this is Juste Parfums, and it's called Embrasseur. It's a really cool, kind of like salty, ambery aquatic scent. This one, when you look at the notes, it won't really give you an idea of what it smells like. This smells like minerals. It smells very mineral-esque. You get a lot of saltiness, and you get this airy, fuzzy quality, which would be coming from like the ISO Super and the other aroma chemicals. It's kind of airy and mineral-esque, but it's almost warm at the same time. It's almost like you're sitting on a salty seaside, but you have a very warm blankie around you. It's beautiful. It's actually so unusual. One of the most unusual type of aquatic scents because it's not a straight up aquatic. It has some really unique elements, and the whole brand, they really push their limits and create really interesting artistic fragrances. Not all of them are wearable for me, but a few of them that I love, I really love, and this is one of them. And this was one that I had to spray on the skin, and then I saw the magic. On paper, you just don't get that same effect, but as soon as you put it on skin, it starts to morph and evolve and do all the magical things, and it's just perfect for this weather. The color suits it really well, but the color almost suggests more of a standard aquatic scent, and that's not really what this is. I do have a code with Juste Parfums. It is The Scented 10. I will link all of my codes in the description. If you guys wanted to sample any of these, they are available on thescented.ca. That is my decant shop. I ship within Canada and US. And then the next scent will go in the designer range. This one's a little bit safer, super likable. I've been raving about this for years, and I included it in my 5 fragrances that every woman needs, which I'll link that video up here. I love it. I can't get enough of it. This is like a shampooey, fresh, clean, aquatic, and it is Ocean di Joya from Armani. The bottle is beautiful. The scent is gorgeous. It is like, okay, I'm going to be repetitive here. The way that I've always described it and will continue to do so is exactly like you're standing outside on a balcony on a beautiful vacation after you just washed your hair with a fruity shampoo, and the breeze is blowing and you feel the salt air and that fruity shampoo, and it's just, it's such a vibe. This one, it's safe. Yes. It's easy. Yes. It's maybe a little bit simplistic. Sure. But it's perfect. It is the perfect, sweet, shampooey aquatic scent for summer. Everybody loves this. It is a compliment getter. It also has a note of pear. That is what gives it kind of that shampooey vibe. This is my favorite of the entire like Aqua di Joya range, is Ocean di Joya all the way. And no surprise over here, this is Pacific Rock Moss from Goldfield and Banks. This is, I think, my favorite masculine aquatic. Very likable, a little bit sweet. It's kind of what I imagine like a surfer dude would smell like. You know, one with like really well-conditioned kind of long hair. Like the epitome of a surfer dude, but like a hot one. This is probably what he smells like. So yeah, this one I like to wear myself, but I prefer it on my man. It's just a little bit masculine leaning for me, but I do reach for this one myself occasionally. Just if I had to say if it's slightly masculine, it is slightly masculine. And I think that this one is available at So Avant-Garde. I purchased mine direct from the brand, but I do work with So Avant-Garde, and I have a 20% code with them, which is Yana20. I will say the performance is a little bit like, it could be better. It's only 3 to 4 hours, but I think because of the types of notes that are in here, Like, it's virtually impossible to create this type of scent and make it long lasting without adding any of those like synthetic kind of scratchy aroma chemicals, which would essentially just ruin the scent itself. So I don't mind the fact that it's not very long lasting. I just don't think that it's possible to make this type of scent very long lasting. Here's probably the most thirst quenching of all, and this is Eau de Merveille Bleu from Hermes. This one has a very similar DNA to the original with added sea notes, a little bit of patchouli, a little bit extra woodiness. This is like sitting on a driftwood log by the ocean. You get a lot of that salty breeze. It's still kind of a salty skin scent, kind of like the original Eau de Merveille, but a lot more aquatic. Like, you feel a lot more water in this scent. And this one, I find, is the best on super, super hot days. Like, I find this one actually gives you this thirst quenching effect. It's hard to find in a fragrance. It's weird, right? But it really does that. It's almost like you just drank a huge glass of water. Like, that's what the scent feels like. This one is super unisex and actually quite long lasting. I get a good 6-7 hours out of the scent. The next fragrance is from M. Micallef. It's called Osoito. This is a masculine marketed fragrance, but I actually find it super unisex. All of their masculine fragrances come in these opaque bottles. I really like this. This has a note of myrtle and marigold. There's a lot of citrus in here. This smells like a very expensive aquatic scent, not a typical aquatic scent. It's very woody and warm as well. The transition on the scent is really nice. So you get those like citruses, aquatics, the little touch of like florals, like seaside florals. And then when it dries down, it's actually quite warm and like woody, musky, still with those aquatic elements. So yeah, the transition is beautiful on the scent. Everything about this is so well done. All of their fragrances are incredibly, incredibly well done. And I really encourage you guys to check this one out because when I smelled it, I was immediately blown away. Here's a super easy reach, my go-to gym fragrance, quite affordable, and it's MacTurquotic. This is kind of similar to Pacific Rock Moss, but more feminine, like less expensive smelling, almost a little bit more shampoo-y, but super likable, like really, really pleasant. And I think this is the perfect gym fragrance because it still has that little bit of sweetness, a little bit of a shampoo-y vibe. It's refreshing. It's just like, it's very enjoyable. It's an easy grab and go. And I was going to talk about wood sage and sea salt, but I feel like I've talked about that fragrance already so much. So like, let's pretend I vaguely mentioned it because I do love it, but Pacific Rock Moss and MacTurquotic are already kind of in a similar vein. And there's another Jo Malone that I want to share with you guys. And this is a limited edition. I think it came out last year. It's called Crystal Campion. I loved these bottles when they came out. And I think that this is a clean formulation that they released. I checked, and as of the time of this video, this is still available at Sephora. So even though it's a limited edition, it's still around. And this is a really nice kind of floral aquatic scent. It's very dewy. And you can smell some powdery florals. There's some violet in here. There's a little bit of rose. It's a very dewy rose, and it's very, very much in the background. It's really about that like watery quality that it has. Now, I've never smelled Campion flower, but of course, as the name suggests, there is Campion in here. And the fact that they called it Crystal Campion really makes sense. It smells like a little ice cube of flowers. So pretty. I feel like this range of Jo Malone's kind of went unnoticed, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, this one is, I think, severely overlooked, and it's a really beautiful kind of floral aquatic, also very unusual. Here's a fragrance that I think is really, really interesting conceptually and really well done, but it's a bit dangerous. Like, this is for those of you guys who are looking for a little bit of an edgy aquatic. This is called Sous le Pont Mirabo, and this is from Etat Libre d'Orange. They create really cool, quirky fragrances. And this one is, it's inspired by the poem. I touched on it briefly in this video here. It's a woody, watery, like airy type of scent, but think more like city water. You know, you get that mineral kind of rocky vibe. And there's fig leaf, there's a bit of pepper, so like the fig leaf comes out strong on the skin. It gives a bit of greenness. It's really, really cool, multifaceted, and a strong sandalwood note here as well. Now for me, sandalwood sometimes goes very creamy, almost buttery, and sometimes I pick out this like slightly dill facet, like the way that Santal 33 has from Mirabo. If you register dill and Santal 33, you may register a little bit of dill in here. So that's the type of sandalwood that's in here. It's there in the base. My man did not like this, but I would love for him to wear this because I think it's actually a really cool, edgy, and unusual scent. But I wanted to share it with you guys because it is one of the more creative new releases that I've smelled, and I think it deserves the credit. I have only a little bottle of the next one, and it's Aqua Cestius from Jules Aimad, if only my camera would focus. This one I'm wearing today, and this is kind of a grapefruity, like slightly bitter, woody, aquatic scent. More along the lines of what you would expect from an aquatic scent, but with so many facets. This one also super unisex. With very little sweetness. So it is actually very refreshing. Like, I think this one and the Eau de Merveille Bleu are like kind of on a similar level in terms of like how they're thirst quenching, not very sweet, and give you that mineral seaside smell. The woodiness in here isn't like a sandalwood that exists in the previous fragrance. This is more piney, which actually complements those aquatic notes incredibly well, and the citrus notes, like, they're so harmonious together. I think pine and aquatics need to be done more. Anyway, this is one that when I run out, I will definitely need a full bottle of. It's the perfect, like, high quality, niche, expensive smelling aquatic. And we're gonna wrap this up with a nice little cheapie. After we went from a super expensive one, here's one that's like 30-40 bucks, and this is L'Eau Kenzo. This is a like water lily, melony, mint type of scent. It's really nice, really refreshing, long lasting. I actually discovered this after smelling it on a friend of mine and complimenting her because actually she smelled so lovely, kind of like sporty, fresh, aquatic, a little bit sweet, and I really, really liked the way it smelled on her. And she told me it was this. I went and bought it immediately. She actually didn't think it was available anymore, and I said, I bet you it is. This doesn't list a note of melon, but it smells as if there's like lemon, like honeydew, kind of like a honeydew smell. I get that in here. It's probably the combination of the other notes. I really like the lotus in here, the combination with lilac, mint, like super unique, well done composition, incredibly well priced for the type of fragrance that this is, and I think one of the best cheapies, especially at this price point. Very likable scent. I highly recommend this as well. I think this would make an excellent gym scent, so I'm gonna actually alternate between the MacTurquotic and this as a gym fragrance. It's just that perfect, refreshing, aquatic burst that energizes you. The mint is beautiful in there. So that's it for my favorite aquatics. I'm looking and I have gone through all of them. Leave me a comment down below and let me know some of your favorite aquatic fragrances or some of the most unique aquatics that you think are worth checking out, and I definitely will. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.